What excites me most is we have our sights not just on the moon, but we have our sights on the stars. That's what we're shooting for. And we 2 years ago went all in on the franchise space, to be all right. We are going to be the best franchise sign vendor on the planet. And that was just 2 years ago. And so we're kind of babies in the industry, but we're here to make the biggest splash, and we are shooting and going for the stars. And so we're here to put every other nationwide sign company out of business. That's what we're going for. That's what excites me.
As we scaled, we scaled massively this year. We tripled our revenue in 2025 from previous years, or from the year before. And scaling is difficult. It's not just expensive, but as your team expands, you lose control every time it gets a little bit bigger. There's another body that does things a little bit differently or has a little bit different mentality or way of doing things. And it's been difficult to gain momentum, right? At the beginning, we just hockey sticked, and then we just sat there for 3 years. We hit this plateau, and we just couldn't seem to break through that. And as we went about this journey of scaling throughout this year, there were a few things that were a concern. One is the customer experience going to be protected. And we went through some incredibly painful moments of failing that, because we thought that communicating the vision was enough. And maybe we didn't have the best processes in place, or we weren't hiring the right people. So what I see is so exciting right now is that we're gaining momentum again. Like, we've just been fighting so hard and clawing our way up to get into this next level. But now we're starting to see momentum. We're starting to see our reputation precede us in some instances. We're going into sales opportunities where people have heard of us. We are going into job interviews, or we're interviewing, candidates who have heard of us, who have said, "Hey, I heard you got some amazing things going on at Silicon Signs. It's a great place to work. I'm interested. Tell me about it." And so that's kind of a cool thing to get when you're moving kind of out of that startup phase and into the growth stage of a company, where the company starts to take on a personality of its own, and it's not just Chase and James, the company of Chase and James. It actually is Silicon Signs, and the people that we have are defining it. And they're defining the customer experience, and it's taking on a shape of its own and a reputation of its own. And also, like James said, to see how far we've come just in the last 2 years, to see how far we've come in the last year or even 6 months, what we're seeing is that this thing is snowballing. It's becoming easier and easier to sell. It's becoming easier and easier to pick up large accounts, to hire best talent. And so to see that we're continuing to progress and solve more problems for more people and create actually a good place to work. Like, that's something that is so important to me. I've said that from day one, is that Silicon Signs is not a dungeon. All right, I've said that from day one. Silicon Signs is not a dungeon. You deserve to love where you work. You deserve to be in a place where you like your coworkers, where you feel supported, where you have a positive culture, and where you look forward to going to work. I've looked forward to coming to work every day for almost 8 years, and I want that for everybody else. And I feel like we've actually accomplished that at scale, and that culture is scaling as well. That's super exciting to me.